Hey guys, and welcome back to Carbon Scoring, the best place for comics history and action figures, but maybe not the greatest place for technology, because last week when I uploaded this video, this Wolverine mystery box, I managed to somehow leave out the last 6 minutes, which is a real shame because there is great stuff in there. There are some incredible action figures and one that is so bad that you just have to see it. So I've created this video, which is basically a part 2 to allow us to finish watching that video the way that I intended it. So that's going to come up here in just a second. But while I have your attention, I really just want to say thanks. This channel has seen tremendous growth. We've tripled our subscribers in the past month, and it's all because of you. I know that every YouTube creator pours their heart into the work that they put on here. And listen, I love sharing my collection and my comic and action figure knowledge with you guys, but it's so much easier when you get the kind of feedback and the kind of incredible comments that you all have given me. I really appreciate it. And I just wanted to take a second to say thank you. So thanks. And keep watching because there's going to be even more good stuff coming up from Carbon Scoring. But in the meantime, let's get the end of that Wolverine video that we've all been waiting to see. Check it out. This one we got to talk about, though. This is the Frank Quietly inspired Wolverine from New X-Men. So right after the first X-Men movie came out, I guess right around the year 2000 or so, there was a big push to kind of make superheroes more realistic in the world. You know, even in that first X-Men movie, they made a joke about wearing yellow spandex.
You actually go outside in these things?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
And I get it. I mean, it would have looked kind of funky on the screen, although I think we can argue that the MCU has figured out a way to make that work. But at the time, they dressed the X-Men in that movie in black leather, and so shortly thereafter, Marvel was bankrupt. They were trying to come up with new things. They were bringing in new life, and so they brought on Grant Morrison to write X-Men, and he brought Frank Quietly, the artist, with him, and they reimagined everything about the X-Men, about their look, and this is the physical representation of that. He's got his leather jacket, got his big X's on the elbows. He's got a pretty accurate Frank Quietly head sculpt. Maybe not quite as good as some of the other ones that we've seen, but that is the new X-Men Wolverine. Got another of the John Cassidy ones. I told you I loved that figure. Yeah. So this came from the 3-pack, right? I'm sure people will help me in the comments, but this Bone Claw Wolverine came from the 3-pack with Cyclops and Phoenix. And again, I like it when we've got the mask that comes down. That's a particularly good one. But yeah, the thing that sets this one off are the bone claws. Again, I wasn't reading X-Men during the time when this happened, but it's such a part of Marvel lore that I think we're all familiar with it. Magneto finally had just had enough. I mean, he just was, I think he even said, I tire of this, and just went, "Runk," and ripped all of the adamantium out of Wolverine, leaving him as just like a jelly-like husk. Now, of course, he survived, and shock of all shocks, later on, popped his claws, and out came these bone claws. And really, to many readers' surprise, they lasted for years in the books. I mean, it was a number of years before Wolverine got his adamantium back. So this is a nice homage to that era of a bone-clawed Wolverine. We have a X-Force Wolverine who unfortunately looks like he went on a secret mission that didn't do well. It would appear that he went to the land of the dogs and lost that battle. So hopefully your healing power helps you out there, buddy. Now, we've got 2 left. Definitely have a few heads floating around in here, which is cool. But this is so sweet. So this is Weapon X. So if you're not familiar with the art of Barry Windsor Smith, he kind of rose to prominence in the 1970s. He was drawing like the Conan books. He's an incredible illustrator and draftsman. He has a really fine line and just a brilliant style. And so in the 1980s, there was a comic called Marvel Comics Presents. And it was a weekly anthology book. It would have like short stories of multiple different characters, and some of them would run from issue to issue to issue to issue. And so Barry Windsor Smith drew the lead story in Marvel Comics Presents over really, I think, a period of a year. He basically wrote a horror tale about the origin of Wolverine and the Weapon X program and how Wolvie got his adamantium and became the berserker that he would be from time to time. Now, it wasn't the origin of Wolverine. That was told much later by Joe Quesada, but this was like the closest thing that we had to a Wolverine origin for decades, and it was brilliant. It's been reprinted in trade paperback, so if you get a chance, you should check it out. But Barry Windsor Smith wrote and drew a beautiful tale of, horror and mystery, and it's just exquisite. Weapon X. You should definitely check that out. And as I always say, we know, nothing good's going to happen with that. As I always say, we save the best for last, except for this time, because we truly saved the worst Wolverine figure ever for last. So this is based off Ultimate Wolverine. Are you kidding me? Look at those caterpillars that are over the top of his eyes. That's horrible. Look at the face. I mean, if I was the artist that they theoretically based this on, I'm going into advertising. My days in comics are done. It's so bad. This is the worst Wolverine figure that I've ever seen, and I don't even think it's close. What's happening with that jaw? Why does he have that stupid, goatee kicking out there? It's just awful. The articulation's not great. It's got a single jointed elbow, double jointed knees, super tight joints, because I've never played with this piece of junk. This is it. There it is. The worst Wolverine ever. So in case you were wondering, that's the worst. And we're going to come back here and go with the Marvel Retro Cardback brown suit Wolverine with metal claws as the best. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Welcome to the fall of the mutants. We're going to be doing much more of Marvel's Manic Mutants action here coming up. If you're digging what we're doing, go ahead and give us a like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the fun that's coming up from Carbon Scoring.